This is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of A Vindication of the Rights of Women by Mary Wollstonecraft. Vindication means justifying, and here Mary Wollstonecraft wrote this book in 1792. And at that time, she spoke about how women have to have their rights. And particularly here she talks about education for women. And this she wrote in response to French politician Talleyrand Perigord's pamphlet on national education, where the importance was given only for the education of the boys. And here she arguments that if women are not prepared by education to become the companion of man, she will stop the progress of knowledge and virtue. That is, her argument is women also must be equally educated as men. Then only in the country we will have a progress in knowledge and virtue. If the women is denied that education and if only men are given that education, then there will be no progress in the society, because she believed that if women's education is neglected, it will cause a great misery not only in their family, not only in the women's life, but also for the nation. Because at her time, that is during her time, women were taught that romance is the primary goal of their lives, and they are not encouraged to develop their reason or virtue. And she also critiques her contemporary views of women's education. She looked primarily at the middle class women, and she considered them first as human creatures placed on this earth to unfold their faculties. And she she bases her arguments on the belief that reason is what makes people human, and virtue is what distinguishes people from one another, and that virtue is attained only through knowledge, and that knowledge will be gained through education. And she rejected the common argument that men and women should aim to acquire different virtues, because they said men means they have to have these qualities and women means must have these qualities, because she believed that although men and women generally have different duties in life, they should strive for identical virtues. But because women tend to be given a haphazard education, that is, their education was not given much importance, they are not given adequate opportunity to develop their reason and attain virtue, because they are not educated. More often, they are taught to please men, preparing themselves for only a brief period of life, that is, courtship and early marriage. That is, women were brought up only to get married, and for the reason that they have to get married, what all they needed to attract men, that was given more importance. And they aren't even prepared to build sustainable marriages or to care for their children effectively. And because women are taught that pleasure is the overriding goals of their lives, they are never given the opportunity to struggle with adversity and thereby develop knowledge and virtue. Instead of learning to rely on reason, they are allowed to be driven by emotions and delicate sensibilities, which do not prepare women to be good wives and good mothers. This neglectful education also leaves them specially vulnerable if they are widowed, or if seduced and ruled by a man, situations in which they are left without any means to support themselves financially. That is, if she is widowed, she has no one to support her financially, or if she is seduced, or if she is ruined by a man, she is the one who actually suffers, and because of lack of education, she cannot economically support herself. And Wollstonecraft specifically critiques several 18th century writers on the subject of women's education. Her most detailed critique is of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who argues that women only need to be educated in as much as it prepares them to serve men. That is, women must be educated that much enough to help the man with whom she is associated. And she also dismisses Fordyce's sentimental sermons and Gregory's rules of decorum. She concludes that women have absorbed many of these oppressive standards because they haven't been taught to distinguish between reason and prevailing prejudices. Prejudices means already preconceived ideas. And she also addresses the importance of childhood impressions, the necessity of modesty for both sexes, and the distinction between external reputation and virtue. Wollstonecraft sees duty, especially for most women, the duties of motherhood and domestic life, as a vital building block for families and thus ultimately for society. That is, the society has controlled women from developing by placing certain norms in their life. And because society pressures women to care primarily about external beauty, they have no incentive to attend to the duties nature has given them, leading to unhappiness and malformed family bonds. Women deserve the protection of civil laws in order to support them in fulfilling their duties. They should also have the option of studying medicine, politics, and business in order to have more occupational doors open to them, allowing them to be of greater use to society at large. Wollstonecraft concludes a vindication with the proposal to establish free national schools for all children, that is, for both girls and boys, and such schools, marked by strongly republican jostling of equality, would focus on creating good citizens, nurturing the virtues that have taken root at home. She advocates co-education at every stage, believing this will allow relations between the sexes to develop in more natural and healthy way. Educating girls in such schools will not distract them from domestic duties. Rather, it will awaken their minds and prepare them all the better to fulfill their duties, caring for their families based on reason and virtue, rather than ill-informed prejudices and unruly feelings. Finally, Wollstonecraft calls for a revolution for women, reiterating that their subordinate status is due to men's prejudices and not to any inherent weakness. This will be proven once women are free to develop their understanding and affections. As women are released from ignorance, they will enjoy greater independence, befitting rational creatures with human souls, and society as a whole will only benefit. So she says that if women are educated, it is not only the women or a family, but the society itself will develop for a betterment. And this is really one of the best books which we have to study about women education and also in feminism. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.